I never thought inviting my cousin Emily to stay at my house for a few weeks would change the way I looked at family, trust, and even myself. When she called me one cold Sunday morning, her voice cracked on the phone. She said things had been rough after she lost her job, and she didn't know where to go. I didn't hesitate, because growing up, Emily was more like a sister to me than just a cousin. We shared summers together at our grandparents' farm, made forts out of bedsheets, and stayed up whispering secrets in the dark. So when she asked, I said yes, come and stay here. My home is your home. At first, I thought it would be temporary just until she found her footing. I cleared out the guest room, washed the sheets, and even left a little welcome note on the dresser with her favorite candy bar. When she arrived, dragging her suitcase at my driveway with her hair tied back and her eyes tired but still carrying that familiar sparkle, I felt a wave of warmth. She hugged me tightly, and in that hug, I felt all the years we had missed suddenly collapse into nothing. The first few days were simple. We drank coffee on the porch, laughed about childhood memories, and cooked dinner together like old times. But as the week rolled on, I noticed things in Emily that weren't the same as before. She was quieter, sometimes distant, and at night I could hear her pacing in the guest room. I asked if she was okay, and she would smile and say she was fine. But I knew better. One evening, while we were sitting in the kitchen peeling potatoes for stew, she suddenly blurted out, "I feel like a failure." The knife in my hand stilled, and I looked at her. She had tears in her eyes. She explained how she had worked so hard at her last job only to be let go during downsizing. She had no savings left, her apartment lease had ended, and she felt like life had taken everything away from her at once. Listening to her, I felt my chest tighten. I reminded her that she wasn't alone, that staying here wasn't a burden, and that she was stronger than she thought. Slowly, as the days turned into weeks, Emily began to open up more. She told me about her fears, how she doubted herself, and how every rejection email from job applications made her feel smaller. I tried to encourage her in every way I could. We made a routine. Mornings were for job hunting, afternoons for walks in the park, evenings for home-cooked meals, and sometimes silly old movies. But something I didn't expect was how her presence began to change me too. I had always been the independent one, working long hours, keeping my home in perfect order, and not really letting anyone in too deeply. But with Emily around, I realized how much I had missed companionship. Her laughter in the house, the way she would hum while washing dishes, or how she left little notes on the fridge saying, "Thank you for today," made the house feel alive. Then came the night of the storm. A thunderstorm rolled in, shaking the windows and cutting off the power. Emily and I sat together in the living room with only candles for light. She was curled up in a blanket, her eyes reflecting the flickering flames. "Out of nowhere," she said, "you saved me." Her voice cracked again, but this time I let her cry on my shoulder. She admitted she had felt invisible for so long, and just being here, feeling cared for, reminded her she mattered. That moment broke me in the best way. I realized she wasn't the only one who needed saving. I needed it too. In the weeks that followed, Emily found strength I hadn't seen in her in years. She got back into painting, something she had loved as a teenager but abandoned when life got busy. I cleared a space in the garage, set up an easel, and every afternoon she would paint. Bright colors, bold strokes, emotions spilling onto canvas. And slowly, I watched the heaviness lift from her shoulders. One afternoon, she came running into the kitchen holding her phone, her eyes wide with joy. She had gotten a job offer. It wasn't her dream job, but it was stable, and it meant she could start fresh. We both jumped and screamed like kids, hugging and dancing around the room. I had never seen her so happy. Her stay stretched from weeks into months, and during that time, our bond deepened in ways I can't put into words. We weren't just family anymore. We were each other's anchor. She helped me see that I didn't always need to have everything under control, that it was okay to lean on someone else. And I gave her a space to rebuild herself when she thought she had nothing left. When the day finally came for her to move into her own apartment, the house felt so empty. I stood in the doorway, watching her carry the last box, my heart heavy yet proud. She hugged me and whispered, "You gave me back my life." I held back tears as I told her, "You gave me mine too." Even now, months later, she calls me every evening. She's thriving at her job, her apartment walls are covered in her paintings, and she tells me she feels hopeful again. As for me, I no longer feel like I'm living in a perfectly ordered but lonely house. I learned that sometimes opening your door to someone else isn't just about giving them a place to stay. It's about letting love, healing, and unexpected change walk right in. I invited her to stay, but I didn't expect her to get involved in my life the way she did. And yet, I'll forever be grateful that she did, because she reminded me of the beauty of second chances, of family, and of simply being there for one another when it matters most.